Hi, Suze.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Guess what we're doing today?
What? It smells good already.
I haven't started yet. Well,
it always smells good in here.
Okay, so we're going to make coriander chicken today.
Yum.
And it is one of your favorites.
One of everyone's favorites.
And you know what? I've never actually written down the recipe, so I'm going to do this and then write it down. So hopefully everyone will enjoy it. Okay, so a little 101 on curry. Most people think that curry comes from the store in a bottle named curry that's either mild or medium or hot, right? Mm-hmm. So curry is basically a universal name for a mixture of spices. So when you go to the grocery store and you buy curry, it's a blend of a lot of different spices. Okay. And the thing is, you can do better because you can make your own curries with your own blends. So that's what we're going to do today. One of the things I like to do is to grind my own spices. Mm-hmm. But we're going to do a mixture today. You can grind all of your own spices or you can grind some of them. I like to grind the coriander because it's so nice and fresh when it's freshly ground. So I have a little coffee grinder that I use just for spices. And I'm just going to give it I've got about 3 tablespoons of coriander in here. And that's sort of the base of our spices. Now, if you want to come around and take a look at all of these spices, these are some of the spices I'm going to use for my coriander chicken. So I have in here about 2 tablespoons of turmeric, and I have about a tablespoon of cinnamon and about a tablespoon of cloves. And with that, I'm going to add my ground fresh coriander, which is about 3 tablespoons or so of coriander. And it just smells...
I can smell it. It smells delicious.
It smells heavenly. Mm-hmm. It's so good. And when it's freshly ground, it's even better. Okay, so we have those spices. I'm just going to set it aside for a minute. And I'm going to turn on the oven. Or the stovetop, rather.
Have you put oil in there already?
I haven't yet. Okay. I'm going to put some in. So I'm just going to drizzle some olive oil over this onion. I like to get it nice and crispy. So we're going to just put it on high a little bit. And while that is heating up, I also have a mixture of ginger. So ginger and garlic and the onions are going to just blend together in the frying pan for me. So this is ginger.
Is ginger typically in like the ground curry you would buy?
You could, but you know what? That's one of the easiest things to chop up.
To get yourself.
So just get the fresh ginger, and this is about 1.5 inches of ginger, and I just chopped it up. And this is about 3 cloves or so of garlic. Okay. I mean, you can go less or more of either. So we're going to just add these to the onion mixture. So we've got the garlic in there, and we've got the ginger, and we're going to get them all nice and brown and sauteed, mixed together. So I've got it on high right now because I like to just get it going. Mm-hmm. And
was that 1 large onion?
Yeah, that was a large white onion chopped up. Now, you can chop them up finely, or I just do it lengthwise. Like it's quite easy to do it lengthwise, and then when you're serving it, you know where the onions are that you can add to extra or whatever to the meat when you're serving. And I also have here serrano peppers. We've talked about this before, but I prefer serranos to jalapenos. And I'm just guaranteed a little bit more heat with serranos than I am with jalapenos, and I love serrano peppers. So I'm going to put 4 of these in here. We're cooking, a meal for basically 4. So I'm going to add these in there.
So one serrano per person?
Yeah. Something like that.
Hope your head doesn't pop off.
That's a good way to sort of remember it. Okay, so yeah, I'm just chopping off the tops, and rather than chop all these up, again, like the onions, I'm just going to cut them lengthwise.
Oh.
Because you get the heat from it, and if someone doesn't like the serrano, they don't have to have it on their plate. They can avoid it.
Right.
But you still get the heat from it, and someone that really likes it may want it on their plate. So I'm going to take the serrano, and I am just going to slice them up like that. Just lengthwise in half. And some people that are really sensitive to heat may want to take the seeds out. I, of course, don't.
No.
But you're welcome to do that.
You and Sam making my nose run since 95.
Since you were what? How old were you?
I probably started eating or cooking at 10 maybe, I'd say.
I'd say I met you at 3 or 4 in the playground. Yeah. I have to say that our videographer is Suzanne. She's my youngest daughter, Sam's best friend, and her mother's a very good friend of mine, and we're neighbors. So we've been neighbors for a long time, and they love my cooking, which is awesome.
You guys introduced me to spice.
That's great. And her mother's a wonderful baker, which I'm not so terrific at. So we're going to just put all of these together. I just want them to, like, you know, really get nice and brown. And so we have our spices here that we've added together.
So is this the curry spice you've created?
Right. Okay. So this is essentially curry, but we've created our own blend of spices for the curry. So I'm just going to mix them up a little bit. And you'll see that the prominent spice in here, spices I should say, are the coriander and the turmeric.
It smells so good.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, okay, just to differentiate, like you smell this and smell the pre-mixed curry that comes in a bottle, you know, it's just quite different. Yeah.
I know, whenever I make curry, I always just use the pre-made stuff, and it never has the same flavor as what you guys make.
Yeah, but this isn't that difficult to do. And, you know, if you do make it, you can make your own and then put it aside, you know, just bottle it for later. So, okay, so I have this. I'm just going to make a little paste. I'm just adding some water, just enough to sort of make a paste. So the spices here are just going to blend together. And I'm going to add this to the sauteed onions and ginger and garlic. I'm just going to add a little bit more. There we go. And you just keep adding it till like the paste is well moistened, and you get a sense of what it's like. And just keep adding it. There we go. So they're all blended together here. So we've used all of these spices, and I'm going to use some fresh ground pepper as well. And I like to use Himalayan pink salt.
Does it just have more flavor?
It has more flavor, it's more nutritious, has more minerals, and I like it a lot. If not that, then sea salt for sure. I never use table salt.
Okay.
Never use table salt. And yeah, so we've got the coriander, we've got the cloves, we've got the cinnamon. I'm going to do some fresh ground pepper, and we also, of course, have the turmeric, as you know, is one of the most wonderful spices and one of the most healthiest spices, full of antioxidants and anti-inflammatories, and it's just, you know, such a health benefit, turmeric. You can get it in pill form now too, and you know, or as we often do, is just take a couple of teaspoons of turmeric, a half teaspoon of black pepper, and mix it together in some hot water.
And drink it?
And drink it. So if you're feeling a cold coming on, it's the best cold remedy ever.
Is it good?
So natural, yeah. It's actually helped both my girls when they were, when they were with, just on the verge of colds. As soon as you feel a cold coming on, a warm glass of, you know, just a normal glass of water, you don't want to sip it because it's not a sipping drink.
You want to chug
So,
it? Chug it with your nose closed?
You don't even have to do that because almost you don't really. It's tasteless, really. It's just flavorless like that.
Okay.
But you know, you just take it and put it in warm water so you can chug it.
Right.
If you're in hot water, you have to sip it.
Yeah.
Right. So about a couple of teaspoons of turmeric, half a teaspoon of ground black pepper, and you're good to go. And just repeat that a couple of times a day. As soon as you feel like you're about to get something, it's just a good thing to do.
I've definitely heard good things of it.
Yeah. The curcumin in turmeric is a secret in turmeric that you know. And I grew up really having a lot of that in my diet. You know, coming from Kerala, the southern state of India, and or you know, that's where my parents are from. And
do they use it in all their cooking? Everything?
you know what? As far as yes, as far as this type of cooking goes, a lot of Portuguese influence too in their
Right.
cooking with meats and you know, with poultry, with pork, with beef, seafood. But yeah, it's very, very, very similar. So we're going to just let this brown a bit more. And while that is happening, we'll go back here. And one of the things I like to do in this dish is I like to use fresh carrots.
Okay.
And we find that carrots really absorb the flavor of the spices, and it gives a nice color to the dish. My girls also really like using snow peas.
Ooh, yum.
And so they're not always easy to get,
Yeah.
but when they're available, I'd like to use snow peas too. It adds a nice color too.
Do you ever put sweet potato in?
You know, I haven't.
I can't remember what. Although sometimes you put normal potato in, right?
Not
No?
in coriander
Oh,
chicken,
okay.
but I do in the beef, spicy beef dishes.
Oh, maybe
I
that's
make.
what I'm thinking, yeah.
I do it in there, and I also do it, not in coriander chicken though. I do it, yeah, mostly in beef, I would say. But it wouldn't be something you couldn't do. I mean, it's just, I just haven't done it. So I like to use, these are nice organic carrots, and I just like to cut them just like that. They're just, they cook down well, they absorb all of the wonderful flavors. Have you been cooking much, Suzanne? Are you really busy with work?
Well, I have no choice but to cook. So usually I make a big meal or
Yes.
two at the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
And then basically eat it till I can't even think about it anymore.
But that's smart.
Yeah.
Well, you're going home with one of these today.
Ooh.
A coriander meal.
You get a coriander chicken. You get a coriander.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the spices that have been all, and you can see this is nicely browned.
Oh yeah.
And I want the spices to roast with the onions and the garlic and the ginger as the flavor comes through. So
It is smelling so good.
it's amazing. So now I'm going to add this. And it's going to smell even more amazing. Okay, we'll set that aside. And we're just going to stir all of this up.
You can really smell the ginger, hey? Is that what it is?
I think you smell the coriander too.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the probably the strong smell. Well, it's all blending together, but I can smell the ginger definitely. You will taste all of the garlic too, and the onions and everything. So okay, so that is still on high because I want it to crisp up. So I'm going to leave that there, and I want to talk a little bit about rice.
No one can make rice like you can.
yet it's so easy to do.
You always say that.
So, the key to making rice is this. First of all, did you know that there are 90,000 varieties of rice?
I thought you were going to say 9, and I was like, whoa! No, I did not know that.
I did not. I knew that there were like thousands.
Okay, didn't know
but
that.
I actually looked it up, and there's 90,000 varieties, and there's a place called the International Rice Gene Pool of some sort that they keep track of the cultivated and wild rice.
Wow.
And there's like, they said like over 90,000. So
That's insane.
Yeah, that is insane. And it's a little sad because I only use 2 of them in my cooking, you know, but I mean, I love them.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit on rice. When rice is harvested, it is, the hull is removed. It's removed for brown rice, and for white rice, both the hull and the bran are removed.
Okay.
And that creates white rice. So what I like to use is whole grain brown rice that's parboiled.
Okay.
So that's what this is, whole grain brown rice that's parboiled. And most people think parboiled rice means it's pre-boiled, but that's not the case. The difference between other harvested rice, like regular brown rice or regular white rice, is that with the parboiled rice, the husk or the hull is intact, and it remains intact. And it goes through a 3-step process. So first of all, it is soaked, and then it's steamed, and then it's dried.
Wow.
And during that process, especially the steaming process, the nutrients get absorbed. And so it's a very nutrient-rich rice.
Okay.
And it's a finer rice. It's not as starchy. It's firmer than white rice. So, and I like to serve this rice, whole grain brown parboiled rice that I make. I like to serve it with, like the recipe I have on my website, spicy pork buffet, or the girlfriend omelet, or with coriander chicken. That's the rice I use. I'll use biryani rice when I make, or I should say basmati rice when I make like chicken biryani.
Okay,
but for other dishes, I like to use this whole grain brown rice. And you can see, like, it's just so rich and brown and beautiful. You know? It's
good
just,
rice.
Yeah, it's great rice. So I'm just going to give this a stir. Look at how wonderful this is browning up.
This is good.
That's
So
beautiful.
good.
See, it's just, and we're all doing this in real time, so it's not taking that long. Because by the time you're doing this, and you know, okay. So the secret to this rice. So what I'm going to do is, that's about 1 cup of rice, and 1 cup of rice serves about 6 people.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I'm putting that in here, and basically it's again whole grain. Parboiled brown rice. I'm adding, so that's 1 cup of rice. I'm adding 1 cup of water, and I'm going to add another cup of water. So I'm just doubling the water, the amount of rice.
Right. So 2 to 1. Okay.
Yeah, 2 to 1.
Water to rice.
Yeah. So while that is,
Do you put it on low?
no, that's part of the secret too. While that is being cooked, the chicken, I am going to stir this up, and I'm putting this on high. I'm putting this on high, and I'm going to bring it to a boil. Okay, so this is whole grain brown parboiled rice, 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water, and it's on high, and I'm bringing it to boil.
Ooh, that's looking good.
Yes. In the meantime, this chicken saute for the chicken is just about ready for us to add the chicken. And just before I do that, I like to add fresh ground pepper. Always lots of fresh ground pepper. And I'm also going to add some of my Himalayan salt. I love that
Smells
smell.
so good.
Too bad our viewers can't smell
I know.
this. But they can make it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I had a friend that just mentioned to me that he made my spicy pork crofon recipe that's online and loved it.
Oh, it turned out awesome?
Loved it. Yeah. So I was so happy to hear that. So you'll have to try that.
Yes.
It's online. And of course, I've had many people say they've made the girlfriend omelet. And
Oh, my
loved it.
favorite.
Yeah. Okay. So we're making it for about 4. So,
Are those thighs?
okay, these are chicken thighs, and I like to use chicken thighs that have the skin and the bone.
Okay.
It just adds more flavor.
Okay.
Now you can make this coriander chicken with chicken breast if you like. You can make it with skinless chicken breast, but leave the bone at the minimum because both add so much flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And the fat on the skin just is amazing. So I'm going to sweep all the spices here to the side. Okay. I'm going to take the chicken. I'm going to put it skin side down. All this aside. Okay. Skin side down. And if you do a salad with it, then, you know, it's a great meal.
Mm-hmm.
I take my other hand and move all of this over on top. So all of that gets soaked into the chicken.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. And so the skin side is down. Suzanne, you're finally getting this recipe.
Well, you know I'm going to screw it up.
No, you will not. You're a wonderful cook.
How's the rice doing?
Yeah, it's still going. It hasn't come to a boil yet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so while that is cooking, like that.
Such vivid colors.
I know, hey? So vibrant. I am going to turn this down. It's been on high. I'm going to turn it down to about a 3 or a 4.
Okay.
And I'm going to put a lid on it because I want that chicken well cooked. Okay? Now wash my hands. Because now, while that's being cooked, we can wait a few minutes and we can add the carrots. So
Yeah, I guess the carrots wouldn't need nearly as long as
yeah, not nearly as long. Something that I've done before though, because sometimes if you put the carrots in too early, and it's hard to gauge, or if you're making the chicken ahead of time even, and you don't want the carrots to turn to mush.
Right.
So what I do sometimes is I will remove the chicken after it's cooked and after it's nicely browned on all sides, and I'll leave it in the warming oven. And in the pan that I've taken everything out of, which still has some of the oil and some of the spices, I'll add the carrots.
Okay.
And cook them just to a nice firmness. And then I can just top it on when I'm serving, right?
Right,
So,
yeah.
But it's still blended with all of
Yeah, that's a good
the
way to do it.
spices. Okay, so look at that, our rice is
Oh, has it come to a boil? Just
it's
about.
almost boiling. And it's wonderful because it's going to be timed really well by the time the chicken is done. And once it comes to a boil, I'm going to let it boil for about a minute or 2, and then it'll be like all ready. Yeah. So that is it in a nutshell, coriander chicken. It's not too tough, huh?
Well, you have a way of making things taste delicious.
Oh, you're sweet. You know what? I learned it all from my mom. She's a wonderful cook. Homemade samosas from scratch.
Oh, yum. We should do a video on that.
Yeah, maybe with her.
Mm-hmm.
She's 89,
Mm-hmm.
but she still knows the recipe.
Yeah.
And she can, if we do the rolling of the dough, she makes her own dough for the
Wow.
samosas. And she uses ground beef and peas, and it's seasoned. And, yeah, she does a beautiful job of samosas.
Does she fry them?
She does.
Okay.
She fries them.
Delicious.
She will freeze them after she has made it, and she'll freeze them without frying them.
Oh,
and then
you
she'll
just
fry them fresh.
So handy.
Yeah, she's done that. Yeah.
What's
She
your
doesn't cook as much now. But,
right? Well, that's fair. What's your favorite dish to make?
Of all of her dishes,
Of all of any dishes, hers or yours?
My go-to is the girlfriend omelet.
I love.
I had one last night. I had one today for lunch. So
You can't it never gets old.
it doesn't get old. It's just, and I always say I'm going to make it, like I'll do a 2 or 3 egg, and I'll say I'll just save half of it for later.
Not a chance.
Doesn't happen.
Nope. Not
Never
happening.
happens.
Nope.
Okay, so now it's boiling really well. So I'm going to, you can see that it's boiling.
So it's probably gonna be going for about a minute, I guess.
Yeah.
2.
Oh, that's just beautiful. That's going to be just perfect. So I am just going to put the lid on, and it's on high. I'm going to turn it off.
Oh,
now,
off. Not even on to low.
Not even. So
Oh.
you don't even have to worry about this now, right?
Oh, okay.
It's gonna steam and finish cooking on its own. So you don't have to worry about that, and you've got your chicken going. It's easy, right? So after, I did this earlier just to show you, but this is what it'll look like. See? It's just a really nice rice.
It's a bigger rice, eh?
Yeah. It puffs up,
Yeah,
right?
puffs
Yeah.
up. Delicious.
And so we're going to take a look at our chicken because I want to add that looks good.
Smells amazing.
Yeah. I'm just going to see how brown this is. I'd like it to brown a bit more.
Okay.
So I'm going to just put that back down. And I'm going to raise this a little. That it'll cook. And it'll cook, at this stage, it's going to cook fast. So we've got to watch the browning so we don't want it to be too,
Right.
burn it. Yeah, we don't want it to burn it too much. But so that's how that's going to be. And that's going to cook a little bit more. And then we're going to add the carrots. And through the magic of watching many cooking shows, I have one that's made.
Oh.
Okay, so here it is.
So this is final result?
This is the final result. There it
Oh,
is.
amazing.
So it's got the carrots, it's all blended. It smells wonderful.
The smell is to die for.
And so that's it. So I'm going to plate
Sure.
your dinner.
Ooh. What a night. It's my lucky night.
I'm just going to, because I made the rice a little bit earlier, I'm going to give it a little bit of a mic to warm it up.
Sure.
Your mom was just here and she had this. She tasted it. She loved it.
Was she blowing her nose the whole time?
Well, she did blow her nose a few times,
Yeah.
but she's off to her singing
Yes.
choir practice. Okay, so I'm going to just dig in here and load this up. And make sure you get carrots.
Yum.
It's just so delish. You know what? The rice was warm anyway, and this is going to make it a little bit more warmer, so I won't need to,
I don't think you need to either.
heat that up. And this, my dear, is coriander chicken.
Amazing.
And you can make it yourself, and it's so easy. And you know what? It's a recipe that sort of been tweaked for decades.
Perfected, if you will.
Yeah, just kind of tweaked it with different things, and this one actually was something that I just created. So it's just, and that's why I call it coriander chicken. But I'm sure like a lot of people make something similar to this. But it's but my dad, rest his soul, loved this. He loved it when I made this. In fact, I think that's when he told me he thought I was a good cook. The first time he tasted that.
You finally got the approval. Yep.
When I was a young adult, you know. But yeah, no, he really liked that. And actually, my children love it. We were just in Ottawa visiting my girls, and they just
was that their request?
For the whole family.
Yeah.
I made it for the whole family, and I made a separate one for Eva, our 18-month-old grandchild. I made a separate dish for her. Coriander chicken. I used everything the same. The only thing I didn't include were the serrano peppers.
You got to start her young though.
No, but
with the spice.
That girl loves food and eats everything. Like her parents are such great cooks, and she eats everything. So she can't have the spice.
No,
but she can have the flavors, right? And the only thing that creates spice in the coriander chicken are the serrano peppers.
So did she love it?
She loved it.
Yeah.
So I made that separate for her. She still had the ginger, the garlic. She had the onions, the carrots, you know, but she loved it. And then of course I added the serrano peppers for the adults.
Right. Yes.
You know, so just it's easy to do. Just have to just remove a few pieces of chicken.
Right.
For a child. But yeah. But enjoy before it gets cold.
Well, thank you.
Au revoir.